Welcome to another DK Custom Products video. I'm Dwayne and this is Kevin, and today we're going to respond to a gentleman's inquiry who was asking us about long distance riding on a trike. So I'll read you this guy's question now. Was wondering, has anyone with a freewheeler, tri-glide, or RG3 ever rode it coast to coast and back? If so, what was your experience like? Really got the itch to do it, kind of a bucket list idea. Hate to do it solo, but have to one way or another.
I understand that itch. So
Yeah.
he's going, he doesn't want to do it solo, but he's just got that itch and he's got to do it. And I understand that completely. Once Mary and I decided, we were going to ride up to the Arctic Circle on our tri-glide.
Yeah.
From Mississippi up to the Arctic Circle and back. That's all I could think about for like 8 months while we were planning the trip. Same thing with the Bella Coola trip, where, one of them was 13,000 miles and the other one was 11,000 miles.
Right. And I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it's hard to put into words how that feels. Being that far from home, it's in the grand scheme of things, at that point in the globe, on Earth, and you got there on a motorcycle. You know what I mean? There has to be like a charming feeling. I know when we were in Sturgis, it almost feels surreal that, hey, I'm on a motorcycle, one of the most primitive means of transportation, and I'm 3 days from my house. You know what I mean? That's a feeling, right? Or am I the only one that has that feeling?
Well, I think everybody has a different feeling, but yeah, I have, and Mary knows, not talking out of school here at all. She knows if we were not married, I'd be a nomad because I just want to see what's over the next hill.
Yeah.
And then when I get over that hill, I want to see what's over the next hill. And the same around a curve, what's around the next curve. And it's just an itch that you get. And what's interesting is we just did a bunch of interviews with John Meadows, who's a true long distance rider. Who's gone from coast to coast and back.
Right.
So coast to coast to coast, not on a three-wheeler, but he's done that in, he said 86 hours, right?
Yeah.
In 86 hours, less than 4 days from one coast to the other and then back to the original coast again.
Right.
So, but the question was, have people done this on a tri-glide, RG3, or a freewheeler? Yeah, we have. We'll put a link in the description below of ride reports. It's not every ride that we've been on, but there's a lot of rides we've been on the trike that are in there with hundreds and hundreds of photos and what we experienced.
So the one thing that you need most, I would think, to do something like this is time. And not only when you look at the time it takes, also the supplies you have to survive for multiple days on the road. Weeks even, right? Yeah. So I suppose a really good question people may have is packing. Like, how do you take that much stuff with you? I mean, obviously you're not bringing, the bathroom sink, but you got to have clothes, you got to have toiletries, you got to have food. Like,
and especially if you're bringing your wife or girlfriend.
That triples it.
So we actually, I think we did a video on how to pack your Tour-Pak on a trike and how to pack your trunk on a trike. And we'll put those videos up in the corner. And I'm pretty sure that those videos were done when we were actually packing to go on our Bella Coola trip, which was 11,000 or so miles. And I think we were gone 3 or 4 weeks. It definitely can be done. You should have a blast doing it and take your time. One thing that Mary and I have discovered over the years is a lot of times we would like speed up and we would just we would have too many locations we wanted to hit in too short of a period of time. And so we just sped through everything and we didn't stop and enjoy some small town diners or, this museum. I mean, we rode past, a couple of weeks ago, we rode past the NASA Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama for like the 15th time. And we still haven't stopped and gone in there and looked. And I really would like to. And so take your time You're not going to be able to see everything, but pick out a few things, because what it comes down to is you're making memories.
Yeah.
You're accomplishing something. You're going to have a sense of satisfaction, like what Dwayne was talking about. But and a little bit of a weird feeling, maybe.
Almost surreal.
If I want to get home, I'm going to have to ride for for 30 hours to get home.
Yeah.
What you're really doing is you're making memories that our ride up to the Arctic Circle and back is so jam-packed full of memories that we talk about it on a pretty regular basis, and it's an enjoyable thing.
And one of his more specific questions was, if has anyone rode coast to coast and back, and if so, what was your experience like?
Well, and I've just mentioned, you're making memories. There's a lot of good experiences. It is possible to have some bad experiences also.
For sure.
Pick your motels wisely.
Yeah.
Pick your motels wisely.
Yeah.
We have stayed in some really bad motels, but we were so tired, we didn't want to get up and pack everything back up and go to another one. So pick your motels wisely. Don't trust your GPS 100% of the time. I mean, they can be wrong. Other experiences, don't ride so many hours in a day that at the end of the day, you're just exhausted and it becomes drudgery rather than an enjoyable thing. And the other thing is keep hydrated. Drink lots and lots of water, because the wind going past you sucks the moisture out of your body. So drink more water than normal.
Yeah, and he said, he hates to do it solo, but he has to one way or another. So especially if you're going solo, you almost have no support. So you're on your own out there.
Well, and most of the trips in the ride report link that we put down below, most of those reports are of multiple people, usually me and Mary going on a trip. But I've done a couple of, 3,000 or 4,000 mile trips solo. And while I very much enjoy traveling with Mary, it is a different experience. Going solo, there's, I would say, much more of a sense of freedom. Not because I don't view Mary as a boat anchor or anything to me, but maybe I want to go an extra 3 hours in a day, or maybe I want to take this detour.
Yeah.
When you're riding solo, you have complete freedom to do whatever you want. You might have started out with, you're going to start in this town on this coast, and you're going to end up in this town on this coast. But along the way, you met somebody and they said, oh, this up here has some great riding. You can totally change your whole itinerary and agenda and go, and don't worry about finding a motel. We have never, ever had to make reservations ahead of time in the lower 48. Up in Canada, in the Yukon and stuff like that, we made those ahead of time. But you don't have to worry about making them ahead of time. So you have a lot of, there are some advantages to riding solo.
Yeah.
But I would do both.
Like Kevin said earlier, we recently did some interviews with Mr. John Meadows, who is a long distance rider, who does participate in like cannonball run style races. He does have several Iron Butt awards, and we'll have an entire video series with him. So if you'd like to be more informed on long distance riding and what those experiences may be, you can check out that video series in the link above. And one of my favorite things about those interviews was him sharing his experiences, waking up to a police officer, finding out what he's up to and things like that. So if any of you guys have any experiences you would like to share, I'd love to hear about them. I know Kevin would as well. So leave us a comment below. But if you have any questions about anything at all you've seen in this video or any of our other videos, do not hesitate to shoot me an email to support@dkcustomproducts.com or give us a call, 662-252-8828.
You all ride safe out there.